As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am.
How you guys doing tonight? And welcome to Real News Live. Welcome everybody. Hi, Mark, Sandra, Minnie's, Sherry, Debbie, Nana, Richard, Susie. I gotta go back on this other board. Karen, Brian, Minnie. How you guys all doing tonight? Tobin, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Facebook, of course, just getting on here. Jeff, Eleanor, how you guys doing tonight? Hit that share button if you're in here. A lot to talk about tonight. Of course, we're on the brink of a recession, and the fear of devastating recession is growing, not just in the United States, but across the world. So a global recession is moving forward. And amidst that news, Russian soldiers using Chinese support and North Korean support soldiers now in Ukraine. Topic we really got to discuss, because of this, the possibilities of this happening, or that it was going to happen, were pretty imminent. But from what we heard on the ground so far, there are Chinese troops and North Korean troops both working in support status of now the Russian government, or Russian military, which is huge. Of course, Russia launching more missiles towards the power plant today after they were forced to give it up by a United Nations, which is ridiculous because they're in the middle of a war with a country. The whole thing is just becoming very, very on edge there. And it shows what's going to happen next, even though Biden today even said that we would stand with Taiwan if China was to attack them. We're seeing Russia now and China truly working hand in hand and arm in arm. If they decide to do this and we decide to go after any one of them, we're done. We don't produce our own goods here. We don't do anything. We trade money and buy stuff. That's it. Don't have nothing to buy, then what's money worth? So it's getting crazy out there. Everything you look around. Queen finally is in the ground today, so that's over with. Taiwan got hit with not a tropical storm, but with a earthquake today. Devastating earthquake. Same with Mexico. Both expecting or have tsunami warnings out right now. We're both watching for those tsunamis to come back in. That's just part of the normal weather, though. I mean, you live in an island in the tropics, you're bound to get it. Hurricane, of course, hit Puerto Rico. Massive flooding and mudslides, and power loss pretty much on the whole island. So it's just sad. It is just sad watching what's happening. And Biden, of course, has that risky political shift in Taiwan's independence by stating that we will defend Taiwan directly. Yeah, Alaska's getting hit too. But Ukraine, of course, is accusing Russia of nuclear terrorism after its strike near the power plant again today. Which we know this is going to escalate back and forth now. China wants a swift end to what's happening in Ukraine. So do a lot of the other partners that are partnering together with Russia and China. So they're going to see a swift end to what they're doing there to move on to further and better targets or bigger targets. And they've already talked about this. Meanwhile, we have U.S. I don't know what you're going to do about Alaska. The powerful storms there that are happening right now in western Alaska, knocking homes off foundations and damaging roads. It's just something we've got to face right now. There's no political answer with them. Yep, Taiwan had an earthquake too. Toppled several buildings about 9 hours ago. Was Taiwan's earthquake. We've been watching that as we go through. But of course, now they're trying to go after DeSantis for him shipping migrants to Martha's Vineyard, stating basically he illegally trafficked migrants. But yet the federal government was doing this all throughout the year, flying planes in the middle of the night and dropping them off in cities where they didn't even know they were coming. But that wasn't illegal. It's only illegal when a Republican does it. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous watching what's happening around. Of course, a fear of the devastating global recession as central banks continue rate hikes in a frenzy in Europe. As central bankers are supposed to be looking out for the economy as a whole, but at the end of the day, they have the mentality of bankers, protect the creditors. And synchronization of interest rate hikes imposed by the world's most powerful central banks in the recent months have triggered mounting concerns of global recession that could plunge millions into poverty and start a surge of joblessness amongst the heightened economic pain for the poorest nations in particular. The latest warning comes from the World Bank itself, publishing a study late last week warning the central bank's efforts to tame inflation by aggressively hiking interest rates, therefore increasing borrowing costs, tamping down demand, could significantly global economic contradiction without bringing inflation back down to the pre-pandemic average. This is sad because it is true. Around the world, not just here, but here are some of the worst offenders in the U.S. Americans are piling up credit card debt to cope with inflation. A new report from this year alone, 60% of credit card holders have been carrying a balance for the last year, up 10% from 2021. And that's up 32% from 2020. People are carrying balances now more than ever. The report shows that more than 59% of Americans that earn less than $50,000 a year are carrying a credit card balance month to month. And those balances aren't some minimal balance. They're $50,000 to $80,000 balances, more than their yearly income. Of course, that percentage only drops to 60 or 46% if making between $80,000 to $100,000 a year. This is ridiculous. When are we going to see Epstein's list of customers? That's a good question because I don't think we're ever going to see it this rate. But medical bills, home repairs, car repairs, all those things are going unpaid for. Customer prices have surged 8.3% in the last 12 months. Rising costs of groceries, medical care, shelters. A recent decline in gasoline prices, of course, is making the inflation look lower than it actually is. But volatility in food and fuel prices, I mean, just in August alone, 6.3% was the increase from the previous month of 5.9%. We cannot say we're out of this. Americans now owe $887 billion in credit card debt as of June 2022. That's an increase roughly of 13% at the same time last year when we were in the middle of a pandemic and everybody was having to use their credit cards because they couldn't work. Now they just can't afford the stuff even if they can work. This is devastating. Yeah, fuel prices are just smoke and mirrors. They're just making fuel look cheaper and appear cheaper right now. When you get hit later with the big prices, then you'll know why. But the average interest rate on new credit cards is between 18 and 25%. I know a lot of you guys aren't taking out new credit cards, but that's what the average new credit card interest is now. 18 to 25%. Even people with the best credit scores can expect to pay 18% interest or higher on new credit cards. That is ridiculous. And that's the game we're playing here in the United States. The feds, of course, don't really care about what's happening. All they care about is their money. Home builders, of course, across America have even cited that the housing market is going to be in shambles by the end of next year. Recession is going to hit the housing market harder than it did in 2008. You just got one that's 36%? I don't doubt it. A lot of people are going to be hurting. A lot of people can't afford not to use a credit card because they can't afford not to eat. Their families require it. And now there's a movement to defund fossil fuel coming from private equity industry, which is just devastating as Wall Street bankers and investors face mounting pressure to divest in fossil fuel. The massive private equity industry are taking their place, according to the climate activists. The 8 largest buyout firms have put nearly as much money into coal and oil and gas as the big banks. This is ridiculous. This is what's showing. $26%. Yeah, it's interest free for 15 months, but if you don't pay your total balance at the end of 15 months, if there's a zero balance, if not, you owe all the interest from the date you got the card. It's ridiculous. Gosh. I feel bad for anybody that has to buy oil and natural gas this winter or propane. Those prices are going to be up. It's going to be a hard, long winter, as we know from looking at the almanac going forward. Biden, nears his 100th executive order, costing an estimated $1.5 trillion. Biden has issued more executive orders in his first year of office than any president since Gerald Ford. Of course, taxpayers are going to pay that $1.5 billion or trillion dollars as the national debt nears $31 trillion now. This is ridiculous. This is sidestepping the budget. This isn't even money that came out of the budget. Yeah, Biden said the pandemic's over. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Of course, the price tag on that at $1.5 trillion in spending will probably be more like $4 trillion in federal tax money by the time it actually gets paid off. If it ever gets paid off at that point. The handouts, of course, with the $20,000 handouts for people that had Pell Grants and student loans. The income was below $125,000. They got a $20,000 handout. What the heck is this? And that's not even the money. That's not even including this $1.5 trillion we're talking about. This is sad. Biden thinks there's a worker shortage in the economy. No, there's a lack of employers that will hire anybody without an actual college degree now. The government just set a standard that if you don't have a college degree, because they basically paid all this money to these people, if you don't have a college degree, you're not even worth working for McDonald's anymore. Biden's executive orders has expanded the welfare state and paid people to stay out of the workforce. Literally. We're seeing the percentages that show that. That is sad news to hear. Is Biden the probe on Biden? Is it ever going to happen? Or Hunter Biden? Senate Republicans are now demanding a special counsel authority for prosecuting as the inquiry heats up. I mean, this is a high-profile probe into Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son. Over 30 senators are calling the Attorney General Garland to give the prosecutor investigator Hunter Biden's special counsel authority as the investigator into the president's son heats up. Why is this just now happening? Why are we just now getting to the laptop? The laptop we've known has been out there. Everybody knows that. Falling economy, crushing people beneath its weight. It is a sad, sad time. No, I will never get a Tesla. Sorry. I will never drive a Tesla. An electric vehicle, yes, but never a Tesla. I don't like Musk. Sad. Vote. Votes count. Whether we think they do or not, votes count. So get out there and vote. Make your voice heard. Make your voice known. We know China and Russia are working tightly together. We know North Korea is involved. We know they're all in Ukraine together right now, working either to set up Russian forces to expedite what's happening in Ukraine. They want it done. They want to move on to Taiwan. They want to take over what they want next. Yeah, hydrogen is definitely going to be a viable fuel source, like I was saying. The new discovery of the amount of hydrogen they can make by gallium and aluminum without destroying gallium itself is amazing. Yeah, I don't want to hear Biden speaking at all. Yeah, I had to block that spammer in chat. But God bless you guys. Thank you guys for being here with us. I just want to get you guys updated on the news and what's happening out there. A lot going on. A lot going on. Of course, you guys want to call in and talk anytime, you guys are more than welcome to. But it's just been hard going, getting Grandpa slowly getting him back up and going, trying to anyways. But God bless you guys for being here with us and tuning in. But be prepared. Another thing we're facing is Thursday if this vote does not go the way it was planned to go for the railroads, we may still be looking at a railroad shutdown. I know we looked like we avoided the railroad shutdown altogether. Now there's more questions coming from some of the unions. It's going to be a headache, but hopefully Wednesday we get some more information by it. If the vote does not go through on Thursday, we will be looking at lines being shut down on Friday. And who knows if they'll even respond to an order by Congress anymore. Who knows? But God bless you guys. God bless America. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.
As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past is rich